Mitochondria, Chloroplasts, and Peroxisomes by Patrick Fisher
and Brady Bustede.
Mitochondria, commonly known as the powerhouse of the cell. Mitochondria are peanut-shaped organelles with two membranes, an outer and an inner, cristae, which are folds in the inner membrane to increase surface area, a matrix, which is a jelly-like substance containing the DNA and ribosomes. Here is an example of a mitochondria and its components. The function of a mitochondria is to produce energy for the cell. It is the site of aerobic respiration, which creates 18 more times ATP than anaerobic respiration. These organelles are found all throughout the cell. This is because the entire cell requires the energy mitochondria produces. Certain cells use more mitochondria than others. Examples of this are sperm cells and muscle cells. Mitochondria interact with many different organelles. For one, it has to supply energy to all the other organelles in the cell. Also, the smoothie R removes the waste produced by certain chemical reactions. And ribosomes provide enzymes and proteins that mitochondria needs. Since all eukaryotes have mitochondria, without them, prokaryotes would never have evolved. Also, mitochondria are the only organelles that perform aerobic respiration. And without this energy, cells will not be able to grow and develop as fully.
We will now move on to chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are lens-shaped organelles. They are made of an inner and outer membrane. Inside the membranes, there are thylakoids, which are flat, interconnected sacs. Stacks of these thylakoids are known as grana. Surrounding the grana is the stroma, a fluid that contains free-floating ribosomes, enzymes, and the chloroplast's DNA. Here's an image of what the chloroplast structure looks like. The function of chloroplasts is to provide energy for plant cells. They accomplish this by using chlorophyll and enzymes to convert sunlight into chemical energy. This process is also known as photosynthesis. Photosynthesis contains two reactions, the light reaction and the dark reaction, also known as the Calvin cycle. The products created are ATP and oxygen.
This diagram shows the two parts of photosynthesis. The light reaction, which is completed in the thylakoids, takes H2O and ADP and creates ATP. The Calvin cycle, which is done in the stroma, takes this ATP, carbon dioxide, and more water to create the final product, glucose.
Chloroplasts are found only in plant cells. They are located throughout the cell's cytoplasm. These organelles are mobile and move wherever energy is needed. They are transported along the cytoskeleton network. Many chloroplasts are found in mesophyll cells, as pictured here. Much like mitochondria, chloroplasts also interact with several organelles throughout the cell. Storage organelles, like vacuoles, store the sugar that is made in chloroplasts. Ribosomes produce enzymes needed for reactions that take place inside the chloroplast. Chloroplasts also trade off energy production with the mitochondria of the cell. Plant cells lacking chloroplasts would not produce enough ATP to survive. Since plants are autotrophs and are unable to consume other organisms, they must find other ways to obtain their energy. This is where chloroplasts come into play.
We will now move on to peroxisomes, the main oxidizers of the cell. Peroxisomes are roughly spherical organelles with one single lipid bilayer membrane and a crystalline core, mostly made of urate oxidase and enzymes. Here is an image of what a peroxisome would look like. A peroxisome's main function is to take various substrates and turn them into oxygen. It breaks down fatty acids and other toxics down into smaller molecules. It also produces hydrogen as a byproduct. Peroxisomes are spaced throughout the cytosol and mostly around the ER. They are very common in toxic areas of the body, such as the liver and muscles, as shown in the next image. In this image, You can see the many peroxisomes stained in red and yellow. Like most organelles, peroxisomes get their proteins from ribosomes. They also detoxify toxins that are made by other organelles. The endoplasmic reticulum supplies the peroxisome with lipids it also needs. If a cell didn't have peroxisomes, there would be too many toxins and the cell would become too acidic to survive. The peroxisome also breaks down substances not needed by the cell and makes it into oxygen, which the cell needs.
And now for some interesting facts about our organelles. Mitochondria and chloroplasts each have their own DNA. This gives scientists reason to believe that these organelles were their own cells in the past. Chloroplasts are plastids, a group of closely related organelles found only in plants. Lack of peroxisomes at birth causes Zellweger syndrome, a defect that causes death within the first year of life. The organelles in this video presentation are related because chloroplasts and mitochondria are major ATP and energy producers in the cells. All three are free-floating multi-purpose organelles, and peroxisomes and chloroplasts produce oxygen, which mitochondria need.
Thanks for watching!